Hello friends, today we are going to do problem 344, that is reverse a string. Now just as before, let's read the problem first. So it says that we want to write a function that reverses a string and the input string is given as an array of characters S. Now in this problem I want to solve this by recursion. So if you look at this, we're given the string S which has the alphabets HELLO, and we need to reverse it. It should become 0LOLLEH. Similarly, we're given Hana, and it should be inverted and become Hana. So here H is capital, here H is capital out here, H small, H small. So we know the input and the output. Now let's read up the constraints. Constraints say that the length of the string will be from 1 to 10,000, and every element of this particular list is going to be an ASCII character. Now let's try to figure out how we can solve this problem. So I have Microsoft Whiteboard out here, and let me make a list of the original string that was given in the problem of hello. So we have HELLO. And just to put some quotes around these characters. Now, if we look at our resultant string, it should have O, L, L, E, and H. So this should come here, this should come here, this should come here, this should come here, and this should come here. So one thing that we can do is that we can use a decrease and conquer approach out here. And what do I mean by decrease and conquer? Is that we can approach the list or the array from two sides and approach it from here and approach it from here. Now, the moment we see this and this, we can swap them. So now we are given the full list. Now we can swap them. So we get O and H. So after the first swap, we will land up with O and H out here. Bear in mind that we have to make these swaps in the same string. This is the same string S in which I'm making the swaps. I'm not creating any additional list or string or any other data structure. Then what we can do is that we can further go ahead to this index and swap that as well. So we'll land up with L and E, and ultimately we come here and we simply copy this. Now, in case we have a string which is even number of characters is odd, say we had something like another L here, then this would be swapped as well. So that's the approach that we are going to take. And as mentioned before, I'm going to do this using Python. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to declare a helper function out here. So what this helper function does is that it takes the original string and first and last. First is the index of the first element. Last is the index of the last element in the string S. So what we will be doing is we will start from here, and then keep decreasing the problem size. So then you have this problem size, and then eventually this problem size. So we'll be feeding these index values again and again to the helper function to keep decreasing the input size. So if I write this down again, we have H, E, L, L, and O. Initially, the problem size would be this entire list. Then the problem size would be this, and then the problem size would be this. So it's a decrease and conquer approach where you're going from here and here. Coming back to the problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write my base case. So always remember, recursion without base case is going to go in an infinite loop theoretically, and practically you're going to get a max recursion limit exceeded. So I have to write the base case saying if my first greater than last, I'm going to return S. So what that means is that if I have come to this point or have exceeded, if exceeded first and last, then I simply return the string. Else, what I'm going to do is I am going to do the swap. So this is a very easy way to do a swap in Python. This is the swap. And now I simply call the helper function. Remember, we need to add a self out here because this particular method has been added to the class. And what I do is I increase this counter by 1 and decrease this counter by 1. So that way we are going, we are approaching this problem this way and this way. And once this is done, then I just need to call the helper function from here. I will pass the original string, the first index, and the last index. So now length of S would be 5 in case of hello. So we need to pass 4 because we are using a 0 based index. And remember, I'm not returning anything from here because this has to take place. This has to take in place. So S has to be modified. Now let's run this code and see what we get. So as we can see, we have provided hello and the string has been reversed. Let's try with some other test cases. So how about I change this test case and put some capitals, put some extra letters out here and see what we come up with. So again, just put some random alphabets out here and I got the result as expected. Let's try with few other test cases where I just put a single alphabet T. We should be getting T. Yep. And then if I put another alphabet like B, I should be getting BT. Yeah. So now let's submit this code and hope that it should be accepted. Yeah, and the solution is accepted, and that's it. That's the solution. Now, one quick thing regarding the time and space complexity. So as you know, in recursion, we have a recursion stack. So if we go here, we have the recursion stack. So as we go through a decrease and conquer approach, all of these elements are going to get piled up in the recursion stack one by one. So as the recursion stack unwinds, you're going to get these swaps, and ultimately you're going to get the string reversal. So the space complexity would be O of n, because this space is going to be taken up by the auxiliary space, which is the recursion stack. And the time complexity is going to be O of n, because we are traversing through each and every character in the list. So for space, we have O of n. For time, we have O of n. Always mention this to the interviewer so that the interviewer doesn't have to ask this to you explicitly. You should mention this, it should come from your side, and it shows greater promise for you. Thank you and have a nice day.